He was just a barefoot boy in the slums of Brazil, kicking around a sock stuffed with newspaper because his family couldn't afford a real ball. No cleats, no jersey, no field, only raw passion, and a dream that seemed impossible. But that boy didn't just grow up to play football, he changed it forever. This is the incredible story of Pele, the king of football, who rose from poverty to become a global legend. A story of resilience, heart, and the power of believing in your dream, even when the world tells you it's out of reach. But before the trophies, the fame, and the roar of millions chanting his name, there was a boy named Edson Arantes do Nascimento, growing up in poverty, facing obstacles that would have crushed most, but not him. Pele was born on October 23, 1940, in Três Coracoes, a small town in Brazil. His family was poor. His father, Dondinho, had been a footballer himself, but a knee injury ended his dreams and left the family struggling to survive. His mother worked tirelessly to keep food on the table. Life was hard. They couldn't afford toys, let alone a real football. But young Pele didn't need much. He crafted balls out of socks, old clothes, and even grapefruits. In the narrow streets and dusty fields, he played barefoot, driven by pure love for the game. Pele's talent shone early. He was small, but quick. Poor, but passionate. Every kick, every goal, every scraped knee was another step toward something greater. He often played with older boys, and despite being younger and smaller, he stood out. His determination earned him respect, and his skills made people stop and watch. His father saw the spark and became his first coach. Dondinho taught him discipline and dribbling, but more importantly, he taught him heart. Pele never forgot that. To support his family, Pele worked odd jobs, even shining shoes. But he never let go of football. At age 11, he joined a local youth team, Bauru Athletic Club, where he helped lead them to several championships. By the time he was 15, he caught the attention of scouts from Santos FC. Even then, no one imagined how fast he would rise. He was just a teenager from the slums. But he played like a champion because in his heart, he already was one. Pele's upbringing wasn't easy. He faced poverty, hardship, and racism. But instead of letting those things stop him, he turned them into fuel. His journey reminds us that greatness is not about where you're from, but where you're going, and how hard you're willing to fight to get there. He once said, "I was born to play football, just like Beethoven was born to write music." In 1956, a 15-year-old Pele joined Santos FC, a Brazilian club that would become the launchpad for his legendary career. Within his first year, he stunned the nation by becoming the league's top scorer. His speed, control, creativity, and seemingly impossible goals made one thing clear: this was no ordinary player. And then came 1958. Pele was only 17 when he was selected for Brazil's national team in the FIFA World Cup in Sweden. The world had never seen a player like him. With 6 goals, including a hat-trick in the semi-final and 2 in the final, Pele led Brazil to its first World Cup victory. He wept on the field, cradled by his teammates, not just from joy, but from the weight of a dream coming true. In that moment, Pele became more than a footballer. He became a symbol of hope for millions. Pele stayed loyal to Santos FC, playing for the club from 1956 to 1974. With him, Santos became a football powerhouse, winning numerous national and international titles, including 2 Copa Libertadores, the South American equivalent of the Champions League. He dazzled fans everywhere, from packed Brazilian stadiums to European tours. Wherever Pele played, crowds swarmed to witness the magic. His ability to score from any angle, his powerful headers, his vision, and unselfish play made him not just a goal machine but a complete footballer. Pele played in 4 World Cups, 1958, 1962, 1966, and 1970. He remains the only player in history to win 3 World Cups. In 1970, at the age of 29, he led what is often called the greatest football team ever assembled to glory in Mexico. That tournament showcased Pele at his peak, assisting, scoring, and elevating everyone around him. When asked why he played with such joy, he said, "Football is not just a game. It's a dance, a rhythm, it's life." In 1975, Pele came out of semi-retirement to join the New York Cosmos, bringing football fever to the United States. Stadiums filled, media buzzed, and football gained popularity in a country where it had long been overlooked. But Pelé was more than just a player, he became a global ambassador for peace and sport. He met world leaders, advocated for children's education, and used his platform to inspire change far beyond the pitch. Pelé retired in 1977, having scored 1,281 goals in 1,363 games, a record that remains unmatched. But his impact cannot be measured in numbers alone. He changed how football was played. He broke barriers. He united people. And he gave millions of children around the world permission to dream big, no matter where they came from. Pelé once said, "Enthusiasm is everything. It must be taught and vibrating like a guitar string." And that's exactly how he lived every game, every goal, every moment. He wasn't just a player. He was a movement. A living legend who turned football into an art and became the heartbeat of a nation. These are the achievements that made Pelé not only the king of football, but a symbol of greatness for the world. Pelé is the only player in history to win 3 FIFA World Cups. At 17, he took the world by storm in 1958. In 1962, though injured early, he helped Brazil to victory again. Then in 1970, he led what many call the greatest team ever to their 3rd title, cementing his crown as football royalty. Pelé scored a mind-blowing 1,281 goals in 1,363 matches, a Guinness World Record. He could score with both feet, his head, from distance, and in ways that seemed to defy physics. But it wasn't just how many goals he scored, it was how he made the world feel when he did. With Santos FC, Pelé won 10 Campeonato Paulista, São Paulo State Championships, 2 Copa Libertadores titles, 1962, 1963, 2 Intercontinental Cups, defeating Europe's best clubs. Pelé didn't just put Santos on the map, he put Brazil on the global football stage. In 2000, Pelé was named FIFA's Player of the Century, alongside Diego Maradona. He was also awarded the Ballon d'Or Prix d'Honneur for his lifetime achievements in football, a trophy usually reserved for European players during his era. Pelé used his fame for more than football. He became a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador, promoting education and children's rights. He even helped stop a civil war when both sides in Nigeria paused fighting to watch him play in 1969. Recognized not only for his athletic excellence but also his humanitarian work, Pelé was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. Stadiums were named after him. Statues built in his honor. Songs, documentaries, and generations of footballers credit Pelé as their inspiration. Even after retirement, his name echoed in every football-loving corner of the world. As Pelé once said, "Wherever you go, there's a kid who wants to be Pelé. I have a responsibility to show them it's possible to dream big." Pelé's achievements weren't just victories on a scoreboard, they were milestones in the human spirit. He showed us that greatness isn't born in luxury but in love, passion, and the courage to never stop dreaming. Even kings must rest. But true greatness never dies. In his final days, as the world watched with love and sorrow, Pelé reminded us once more why he was more than a footballer. He was a light, a legend, and a soul full of grace. In 2021, Pelé was diagnosed with colon cancer, a fight that tested his strength in a new way. He faced it not with fear but with the same spirit that carried him through poverty, prejudice, and pressure on the world's biggest stages. Despite declining health, Pelé remained upbeat. He shared uplifting messages on social media, thanked fans for their prayers, and stayed connected with the sport he loved. He cheered for Brazil during the 2022 World Cup from his hospital bed, still passionate, still present. In his last days, Pelé wasn't just fighting cancer, he was still teaching the world about love, humility, and faith. He often said, "If I pass away one day, I am happy because I tried to do my best. My sport allowed me to do so much, because it's the biggest gift I could ever receive." Even as his body grew weak, his spirit never did. On December 29, 2022, Pelé passed away at the age of 82, surrounded by family at Albert Einstein Hospital in São Paulo. The world stopped. Tears flowed not just in Brazil, but across every nation, language, and generation. Football stadiums held moments of silence. Landmarks lit up in yellow and green. Tributes poured in from players, presidents, artists, and children who had only known him through stories and highlights. But the most powerful tribute came from the people, for whom Pele had been more than a footballer. He was proof that a poor boy with a dream can touch the stars. Pele was laid to rest in Santos, the city where his legend was born. Thousands lined the streets to say goodbye. But Pele doesn't belong only to Brazil, he belongs to the world. He left behind a legacy of excellence, a heart for humanity, and a message: greatness starts with a dream, no matter how small. Pele may be gone from this world, but his story continues every time a child kicks a ball with joy, every time someone dares to rise above their circumstance. He was the king. And even now, he reigns forever in our hearts. Long after the final whistle, his name still echoes. Not just in stadiums, but in the hearts of dreamers, fighters, and believers. Pele's legacy is not just in the goals he scored, but in the lives he changed. Before Pele, football was a sport. After Pele, it became a global language. He brought joy to millions, uniting rich and poor, black and white, young and old. He turned football into an art form, and made Brazil the heartbeat of the game. Pele rose to greatness in a time when racism and inequality were rampant. But he broke barriers with his brilliance, his humility, and his dignity. He became a symbol of hope for young black athletes around the world, proving that talent has no color and dreams have no boundaries. Pele didn't just inspire with his feet, he inspired with his soul. He used his platform to promote peace, education, and children's rights. He worked with UNICEF and UNESCO, and even paused a war in Nigeria in 1969 just by stepping on the field. In his own words, "The more difficult the victory, the greater the happiness in winning." We must always believe in something greater than ourselves. Because of Pele, the number 10 shirt became sacred in football. It stands for vision, creativity, leadership, and brilliance. Every great player who wears it, Maradona, Messi, Neymar, does so in the shadow of Pele. Today, no matter where you go, from the streets of Lagos to the beaches of Rio, you'll find kids imitating Pele's moves, wearing the number 10, and dreaming just like he once did. Pele showed the world that you don't need wealth to have worth, or privilege to find power. He taught us that with passion, perseverance, and belief, anything is possible. His legacy lives in every child chasing a ball through a back alley, every underdog rising against the odds, every person who dares to dream, no matter how far-fetched it seems. That's what Pele gave us. Not just football, but love, grace, and the courage to believe in something greater. Pele may be gone from this world, but his legacy is eternal. He didn't just leave behind records, he left behind hope. He showed us that greatness isn't born, it's made, through heart, humility, and a dream no one else can see but you. He was the king of football, but also the champion of dreams. That's the inspirational story of Pele. You can watch more inspirational stories in our library, and don't forget to subscribe.